leaks from the engine or transmission here. And you go to the following items. Hoses, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, tight. Alternator, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, connections are tight, and it's belt driven. Then you got your belt. Your belt is not ripped or frayed with no more than 3/4 inch plate at the center. The water pump on that truck is on the other side, but the water pump this way is on this side. So you just, let's do this one. So your water pump is follow this hose here, right here. Water pump is the same prescription, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, and it's gear driven. Let's go on the other side. And here we got your coolant reservoir, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, the level between maximum and minimum. Dipstick, how do you check the oil? You pull the stick out, wipe it clean, put it back on, take it out again between maximum and minimum. From there you go to the air compressor right here, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, and it's gear driven. And you got your power steering pump right here, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, and it's gear driven. From the power steering pump you come to the power steering reservoir, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, between maximum and minimum. Power steering box, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, tight. Suspension system, spring hangers front and back, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, in good condition. Spring leaves, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not shifted. U-bolts, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, tight. Shock absorber, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. Then you got 4 items in a steering system: Pitman arm, drag link, steering arm, and tie rod end. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no missing nuts, bolts, or cotter pins. Then we do the brake system, brake lines and hoses, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. Brake chamber and clamp, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. Slack adjuster and push rod, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Push rod moves no more than 1 inch by hand when the brakes are released. Brake drum and brake shoes, properly mounted and secured. No oil, no grease, no debris. Brake shoes not too thin. Come to the tire. The tires evenly worn, no cuts on top or the side. Minimum 430 seconds. Wheel, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no welding repairs. Lug nuts, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, tight. Hub oil, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, not leaking. And valve stem and cap, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, minimum pressure 100 pounds. And you get brackets and mirrors, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. I'm sorry, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, clean. Door and door hinges are properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Door opens and closes and seal is present. Steps and catwalk, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no debris in it. Fuel tank, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking from the lines or the connections. Cap is present. Go down here. Side lights on the tractor and on the trailer, up and down. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, amber in color. And you get here and you aim for the frame. Your frame is properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no welding repairs. Exhaust system, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, connected all the way to the manifold. Then we're gonna do let's do the drive shaft, U-joints and torsion bar. Right there underneath. It's properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no debris in it. Let's do, we did the frame right, so we're gonna do now the brake system, which is in the middle of this rail. So you got brake lines and hoses right there. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. Brake chamber and clamp, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. Slack adjuster and push rod behind, properly mounted and secured, not bend, not crack, not damaged. Push rod moves no more than 1 inch by hand when the brakes are released. Brake drum and brake shoes, properly mounted and secured, no oil, grease or debris. Brake pads not too thin. Come outside and do the suspension system. Spring hangers front and back, properly mounted and secured, not bend, not crack, not damaged. Spring leaves, properly mounted and secured, not bend, not crack, not shifted. U-bolts, properly mounted and secured, not bend, not crack, not damaged. Shock absorber, properly mounted and secured, not bend, not crack, not leaking. Airbag behind, properly mounted and secured, not bend, not crack, not leaking. Now we're gonna do the hoses. So you do your hoses. So you got air lines, properly mounted and secured from the tractor to the trailer, not bend, not crack, not leaking. Glad hand is present. Electrical cord, properly mounted and secured from the tractor to the trailer, no cable showing, locked in place. Headboard, able to contain cargo. Dual wheels, evenly spaced, no debris in between. Minimum of 230 seconds. No cuts on top or the side, and even wear. Wheel, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no welding repairs. Lug nuts, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no rust trails, no distortions. Axle, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, tight. Valve stem and cap, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, minimum 100 pounds. DOT tape, present in good condition. Now in here, apron, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. No daylight between the fifth wheel and the apron. Skid plate, part that comes down, is properly mounted and lubricated. Then you got the platform where the fifth wheel sits, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Pins are fully engaged. Release handle, locked in place. Sliding fifth wheel mechanism, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Pins are fully engaged. Mounting bolts, properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. No missing nuts and bolts. Go this way, get your mud flap, properly mounted, secured, not ripped, not frayed. DOT tape is present. And then you get in the middle and you get your kingpin. It's properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked. And then your locking jaws are fully enclosed around the kingpin. Come back out and you do your tail lights and reflectors. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Red in color. Floor and cross members able to contain cargo. Stand around and you got landing gear and landing gear frame. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Landing gear is fully raised, handle in place. Come back and let's do the back. So you start again here with the brake system. Brake lines and hoses. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. Brake chamber and clamp. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not leaking. Slack adjuster and push rod. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Push rod moves no more than 1 inch by hand when the brakes are released. Brake drum and brake shoes. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. No oil, grease or debris, and brake shoes not too thin. Come to the suspension system. Spring hangers, or there. Spring hangers front and back. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Tight. Spring leads. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not shifted. U-bolts. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Torsion bars here. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Tight. Sliding tandem release arm. Properly mounted and secured, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Pin is fully engaged. Dual wheels, evenly spaced, no debris in between. Minimum of 230 seconds, even wear, and then no cuts on top of the side. Let's go back out again and continue going with your wheel. Your wheel is properly mounted, secure, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, no welding repairs. Lug nuts, properly mounted, secure, not bent, not cracked, not damaged, tight, no rust trails. Hub oil, properly mounted, secure, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Level oil at the bottom And the valve stem is properly mounted and secure, not bent, not cracked, not leaking, minimum 100 pounds. Right this way, mud flap. Properly mounted and secure, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Good. Leave this for the end. Marker light. Properly mounted and secure, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Red in color. Now you got door, hinges, and tie. Properly mounted and secure, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Door opens and closes. And in the back, what we do is you go clearance lights, turn signals, brake lights. Properly mounted and secure, not bent, not cracked, not damaged. Red in color, DOT tape present in good condition. That's the end of it.